Hi guys, my name is Jenna and I'm going to be your mindfulness teacher today. So some of the material we're going to go over might be a little advanced for you, some of it might not, and that's okay. Wherever you're at is where you're at, and that's the whole point of mindfulness. Mindfulness is just about connecting the mind and the body, everything else in the present moment. So, who here can tell me what the five senses are? Don't all go at once. If you know them, say them out loud with me. So we have sight, right? We have smell, we have taste, we have touch, we have sound. And all of those help us to connect with the here and now of the present moment. The only object of mindfulness is to connect with the present moment and to simply notice what you're noticing and see what shows up for you. Who here knows what they like and what they don't like? I know sometimes I think I do. I think I know exactly what I like and exactly what I don't like. And sometimes I'll try things and I'll find I like new things. Sometimes I'll try things that I thought I used to like, and I find out I don't like them anymore. Both are okay. The whole point is just to simply notice and show up for whatever's happening in the moment. What we're going to go over today, it might be a little bit harder than any of the rest of the mindfulness sessions. And the reason why is because we're going to talk about the brain and why mindfulness is important. So, what does the brain do? And I'm sure we all know. It helps us think, it helps us act, it helps us do everything that we do on a daily basis in our lives. What mindfulness does is it helps us with certain parts of our brain. So, what we're going to talk about today is the reward pathway of the brain. And I'm going to teach you some parts of the brain, and I'm going to teach you how to remember them. You don't have to remember them. I just think that it's fun to know and set a foundation for why we're doing what we're doing when we practice mindfulness.
So mindfulness works on all the different parts of the brain. So the midbrain helps to regulate movement and process auditory and visual information. The forebrain processes sensory information, helps with reasoning and problem solving, and regulates autonomic, endocrine, and motor functions, while the hindbrain helps to regulate autonomic functions, relay sensory information, coordinate movement, and maintain balance and equilibrium. Now we are going to talk about specific parts of the brain that mindfulness helps and why it is so important, and also how to remember these parts of the brain. First, we're going to talk about the amygdala. The amygdala deals with emotional and survival responses like your fight, flight, and freeze reflex. I remember this by making it someone's name. Amy Gadala is always very reactive. Repeat after me. Amy Gadala is always very reactive. Mindfulness helps us to notice our desired reactions rather than reacting to them. It also helps us to not judge ourselves if we do react. The prefrontal cortex deals with your reasoning skills and helps you to assess consequences to your actions. I remember this by saying the context is in the front of the cortex. Repeat after me. The context is in the front of the cortex. Mindfulness helps us to assess our options and see the choices we have in our thoughts and in our behaviors. The nucleus accumbens and the ventral tegmental area talk to one another using chemicals known as neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters tell the brain that something feels good, rewarding it, and conditioning a response that creates habits. These two parts talk to the cingulate cortex, which helps a person form their emotions and helps with processing and learning information. I remember these three parts by saying, come on, Ben, play tag with me and Cindy. Come on, Ben, for accumbens. Tag me for ventral tegmental area. And Cindy for cingulate cortex. Repeat after me. Come on, Ben, play tag with me and Cindy. Mindfulness is important to these areas because it can help us break habits that we don't want and helps us to create new habits that align with our belief systems. We get to know ourselves better and shift from going on autopilot through life to being more present and mindful in the moment. Next, we have the striatum, which facilitates voluntary movement. So this means it's about your ability to choose to move and do something or choose not to move to do something. I remember this part by saying stratium equals strategy. Repeat after me. Striatum equals strategy. It is important as mindfulness can help us move in the direction to physically act on what we discover about ourselves and our beliefs, helping us to be open-minded to take new actions in our life. The last part of the brain that I want to talk about is the hippocampus, which deals with memory and motivation. I remember this by using the saying, the hippo goes to campus to get a better memory. Repeat after me. The hippo goes to campus to get a better memory. It is always good for us to become more aware and increase our memory, and mindfulness can help us to do that. Scientists are finding out more information every day as they research about mindfulness and continue to uncover all of the benefits it has in store for us.
Mindfulness does is it focuses on the gray matter all around this reward pathway. So it helps us shape our brain and build our brain in this area so that next time we get an emotional reaction, potentially, we could notice it and sense that it's coming and not react to it. That we can be more present for what's happening here and now and all around us. And in the next couple of videos, what we're going to do is we're going to go through smaller concepts of mindfulness and we're going to use certain exercises. So, they're not going to be like exercises. They're going to be brain exercises. They're going to be body exercises, but not the strength training ones. These are ones where we're going to connect with all of those things in the present moment. Sights, sounds, thoughts. Who here can notice their thoughts on a daily basis? I know I can. The human brain has about 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and I don't notice all of them. It's constantly going. The brain is made to wander, it's made to think, it's made to do all of these different things. And mindfulness is going to help you connect with exactly what's happening for you in the here and the now. Right? So many times we're looking to run to the future, or we're tripping ourselves up over what happened in the past and things we can't change. But what we can do is we can change what's happening in the present moment. We can notice how we feel about things in the present moment. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is going to be a very short, small meditational practice. First, who here likes keeping their eyes open and who likes keeping their eyes closed during meditation? How about this? Who here has meditated before? Who here hasn't? That's okay. We're going to start out super simple. And whether you feel more comfortable keeping your eyes open or closed, doesn't matter. It's whatever makes you most comfortable in this present moment. Remember, we just met. So I'm okay if you keep your eyes open. And what we're going to do is first we're just going to notice what's around us. Are you in your house? Are you outside? Are there people around? And then what we're going to do is I feel more comfortable doing this with my eyes closed. So I'm going to close my eyes now. And now that I've noticed what's in the room around me, I'm going to close my eyes. And I'm going to start connecting with my breath and my body. And all you guys should try to do the same. So if you have a hard time noticing where your breath is in your body, whether it's in your chest or in your stomach, I'm going to ask you to put your hands on the area in which you feel your breath the most. Ready? And right now I want you to take a big deep breath in big deep breath out. And do it so that you're hearing the sound of your voice. And feel your stomach and your lungs expand and your chest rise and fall. And see what it feels like doing it intentionally again. Really big in. And really big out. And now what I want you to do is I want you to just start breathing normally. Just noticing the breath in the body. And feeling the rise and fall of your breath. See if you can notice it in the body. See where your body is moving because of your breath. Are your shoulders going up and down? Is your chest going back and forth? Is your stomach expanding and contracting? And whatever it is that you're noticing, simply notice. Maybe you start noticing some different sounds. Maybe sounds in the room around you. Maybe sounds from the outside. I know right here I'm hearing some birds chirp. I'm noticing some rustling from the inside of the house. And I'm simply noticing what sounds are coming up for me. Next, we're going to see if you can notice any smells as you're breathing in and out. And noticing if maybe you had a thought come by. Perhaps the thought is telling you, I don't want to sit here. Or maybe the thought is telling you, I wonder what the next video is going to be about. Or maybe the thought is telling you, I can't wait to go hang out with my friends when this whole pandemic is over and go to camp again. Just noticing whatever thoughts show up and knowing that no thought is ever good or bad, it just is. And as we come back to the present moment, simply wiggling our fingers and toes, opening our eyes. What did you notice in that moment? Did you notice sounds? With your eyes opened or closed, were the sounds louder? Were they softer? Did you notice a bunch of thoughts running around in your head? Were you able to hear my voice? Or did you end up going into thought? None of these things are right or wrong. They totally just are what they are. It was explained to me that the mind wanders a lot. It is built to wander. It has all of these thoughts a day, and it's really easy to just get distracted from what's happening right here, right now, in the present moment. And that's okay. What we want to try to do is just simply, as we're noticing thoughts, bring ourselves back to the breath, which is going to anchor us in the present moment. Does anyone know how people tame a wild horse? When people get a wild horse, in order to tame him, they put him on a really, really, really long rope. Super long. So long that the wild horse still feels like it's roaming around freely. And then, over time, as the horse gets comfortable, the ranchers reel in the rope of the horse a little bit every day, and the horse adjusts to the new length of rope that it's getting. And then every day they do it again and again, and the rope gets shorter until they're able to put the horse in a pen or a stable, and it's still able to feel safe. It's still able to not be restless. It's still able to be okay with what is happening, and then it's able to be a horse with the ranchers. That's kind of like what we're trying to do with the mind. The mind wanders everywhere. It takes us out of the present moment. We can get attached to certain things. We can avert from certain things. We can get really tired and restless. All of these things, and we can see judgment show up a lot. Thinking we're not good enough, or negative thoughts. And all of these things happen to every human being, naturally and normally. Similar to the horse, What we're trying to do is we're just trying to bring in that rope a little bit every day until our brain is totally okay with being with the present moment in the here and the now. So, I hope you guys enjoyed our first short, very informational mindfulness-based practice today. Tune in tomorrow or whenever you want to turn on the next video, and we're going to start doing some exercises around certain concepts, and we're going to start noticing when things like attachment show up or aversion shows up, and I'm going to go into more detail about what those things are the next time we meet for our mindfulness video. So today, your goal is to just simply notice what you're noticing in the moment. Simply see if you're able to stay connected in the present moment, and if you're not, it's okay. We can try again in the very next moment. I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing day at camp, and I'll see you again real soon.